everybody, and welcome to G4G on YouTube. Today we are talking about another patch for Marvel Avengers Alliance Beta 6.16, which takes it up to 6.18. But if you still want the nomenclature of calling it Beta 6.16 because of the ramifications for it and what it implies, you certainly could do so, or you can just call it Open Beta 6. We know what the Open Beta means because all the closed betas were what I had access to. Now that you have access to it, you can just call it Open Beta. Whatever you want to call it, it is second day of, or the second time of patch day, and I'm your host, Napalm Don. So, the developers have released two patches so far, two minor patches. These are small patches, not major releases, the way 5.2 was a major release, and then you guys skipped to Beta 6.16, that's a major release. This is a minor patch. It's looking more and more like an actual well-oiled AAA company here with minor patches and bug fixes and stuff like that. Happy to say that all the devs have been super active lately, and before we get into discussing what to do with the patch and everything, one thing to note, this is a cumulative patch. If that doesn't translate well into whatever language you are watching this in, that means this patch contains the other patch's data too. So you only need to apply this one. You do not need to apply both in any kind of order. And if you already applied the old one, it doesn't matter if you apply this one and everything. It will not do anything to your save or your game or anything like that. But we will back up the save because it is good practice. So the devs have been extremely thrilled about everybody's reaction to the drop of the open beta. The response has been otherworldly, and I think part of it is there was a person who's been doing a lot of this on TikTok Live, and that has brought in kind of a huge amount of people, especially from the South American countries. So to our South American brothers and sisters who have been joining us through that TikToker, welcome to the fold. Hope you guys enjoy everything. A few minor announcements before we get into the patch. The Facebook group is here. There is a link down below in the description, as well as a link to the Discord group and everything. For Discord, since this seems to be tripping a bunch of people up, we are going to be here to show you how to get the file. However, when you join in the rules channel over here, you need to click this tactician symbol. Okay, so you go into rules and you read all the rules here from Dio, our Brazilian brother, Rainbow Panda, Mephisto, and the rest of us over here. You need to click this tactician symbol. This is what will unlock the channels along the left and let you get into them. A lot of people have had some issues with that. I just helped somebody out today do it. I actually watched them click this in real time. I saw the number go up. I was like, is that you? He's like, yeah, sorry about that. My bad. Bug reporting is down here in these bug channels. So you have hero bugs, villain bugs, gear bugs, etc., etc. Do not make the mistake of thinking a piece of gear is or a supply item is a gear that goes in a different area. So if like shawarma isn't healing, which it isn't, it doesn't go in gear. It goes under the combat items and everything, the supply items. Check these listings before you want to discuss a bug. On that note, Facebook is no longer a viable source to discuss bugs. The posts were coming too fast, too furious, rip Paul Walker, for everybody to keep up with the bugs here, and they were spreading the conversations a little bit too thin. So if you have a bug, or what you think is a bug, you need to research it first by coming to Discord, and then if you don't see it, like somebody had pointed out today, that Zemo's slash was not causing bleeds in Season 1, Chapter 1, Mission 3, that actually was not on the bug list. So it was added today. So thank you, fine citizen, who reported that. And then tech support, which is support about the game, how to extract it, and the game actually not working goes here in tech support. So bugs about items, heroes, gear, supply items, whatever, goes in there. Tech support goes down in here. That's like, how do I unzip it? The game crashed. It's running really fast, running really slow. I'm doing it on a Steam Deck. What's happening? It goes here. Another topic people wanted me to talk about before we get to the patch is what's happening with energy. We're not really too sure what is going on about that. Mostly, we're seeing people talk about energy when they're on Steam Deck or Linux-related machines. On Windows, when I thought I was able to duplicate it in the previous video, I was not. I left the game closed for about a half hour, and I did certainly gain energy. So I was not able to actually replicate it. So what you saw in the last video of the energy bug was not actually the energy bug. Also, research bugs. So a lot of people are coming up to a screen like this and they're going, oh, you know, I can't research. I can't do the EMP grenades for the Emma Spec Ops and blah, 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 blah. You have to look carefully at your researches because you likely have one in progress. And I definitely got somebody today on Facebook about that. They posted all of their tabs and it was very easy to see what research was happening. And I called it out and I was right. You see how all of these say 14 hours, 12 hours, 28, 24, and then under here with ISO, I have this one completed. So when I complete it, you'll notice for the most part, everything has one time category, hours or minutes. In the screenshot, the one that was, I think it was like rejuvenation, which leads to healing kits or something like that, had the picture of the DNA strand. It said 4 hours, 30 minutes. And I checked the wiki and that's a 6-hour research time. So I called it out. I said, I bet I know what it was. It was your one with the DNA strand. And he said, yeah, if you see a research that has a mix of time categories, hours and minutes, chances are that is the one you're researching and you need to wait for it to finish. Now, when it says 4 hours and 30 minutes, that's less obvious than if it said 4 hours and 22 minutes. But most of the mistakes that we're seeing about research and research bugging out has been because people are not catching that they're actively researching. You have to have a little bit of object permanence there and remember what you clicked the day before. I always recommend that if you're playing the game, do a fast research like an ISO, because the timer reduction from combat will likely make that training or that research item disappear very quickly. So 30 minutes, literally that's 3 battles or 2.5 battles because the time it takes to do the battle. And then that's done. When I go to sleep, when I go to work, anytime I know I'm going to be away from the game for a long period, I like to do these, the 24 hours, the 28, the 12s, etc. So if I'm streaming, I'm going to be doing these. If I'm going to bed, I'm going to be doing these. PvAI bonus expansion, ignore this one for now. Do not bother spending the resources on it. That is because the armory is locked. This button is gone. The armory was not worth it and kind of buggy in its calculation. So for open beta 6, unlike the closed betas that I was recording and streaming, the armory is gone. So you're not going to be able to modify it. So don't even bother doing the research. And the one item that is missing here that says coming soon is the simulator. That is a season 2 item. You will not see this fill in until we start tackling season 2 content. If the rest of these say coming soon, play the game, they will unlock. Uniforms unlock through playing through season 1. Characters unlock this way. The ability to get into PvP practice, the ability to get into the PvP tournament, all unlock by fighting through these chapters. They have different unlock points. You just have to keep checking your team to see if a character has unlocked for recruitment, people like Union Jack, Thundra, Tigra, Quicksilver, etc. And then you have to keep checking your characters to see if a uniform opened up. Like, I know Quicksilver is a very late unlock when it comes to him getting the Bisquick uniform, which is what he is most known for. That is when he was the Scourge of PvP, was Scrapper, Blue Suit Quicksilver, and he basically mauled infiltrators. So keep that in mind. The question is, Nap, when does something unlock? When does the hero uniform? Just play the game and they will unlock. Everything unlocks in time. Lockboxes unlock when you hit the story beats that lockboxes are part of. So for example, the Omega Sentinel lockbox starts around the time you were doing the Vision Spec Ops. That should answer that question for you. The patch. It is found here on Discord, and you go to the downloads area. And here it is right here from Dubs Beta 618 patch. We're going to go ahead and download this, and I will show you how to apply it. So when you click on it, it will take you to this Google Drive, which is not mine. So I will not need to link it from my Google Drive. However, I am going to patch my game and without my save, replace the download that is available on my Google Drive, and it will be the fully patched version to this date, which is Wednesday, 9/10, one day before the day of very sad infamy here in the United States. So we're going to go ahead and click on the download button. And we're going to wait a little bit for Google to catch up. All right, so I'm going to drop it on my game drive, and I'm going to drop it into the folder that I am using for Beta 616. It's a very fast patch. It's only 6.4 megabytes. You can see here that it's already downloaded. So we're going to go ahead and close out of the game. Never try to patch a game when it is running, and the reason is because the file will be in use, and that could cause a conflict. So here at the root of my Redux Beta 6.6 folder, here is the patch. I'm going to go into it, and I can see that right here it says Redux Data, which matches this folder. So all you need to do, depending on whatever your archival application is, WinZip, 7-zip, I saw a WinRAR on somebody, the eternal thing that is an evaluation copy. There's a meme out there is like, I'm not saying I will tell you if I win the lottery, but there'll be signs and it shows a registered WinRAR. Honestly, WinAce and WinRAR are probably older than most people who are watching this video. Just take it and drag it here, and it's going to say, well, you already have that folder. Do you want to replace stuff in there? And you say yes. And it's going to say you have more names like that. Check off the do this for all and say yes. Now remember, and then again, replace these files. If you're using the native Windows utility or WinZip or something else, it'll be a little different. I can't put that in video form for every single utility that's out there, but you get the drift. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Now, if you want to back up your save, you go into the Redux data, you go into resources, you go into saves. This is my main save. I'm going to back it up one level, and I should have done that before the patch. Pretend I did that before the patch, just in case. But you should do this every week or so anyway. I was recently asked, well, why did you back up a save in the last video? That is because I had a catastrophic drive failure in the winter of late 24, early 25. And when I had that failure, it took out my drive where Marvel Avengers Alliance was, including a bunch of old versions and everything, even the old Flash versions. If you back up your save and then you also back it up to a location that is not on the drive where you play it from, you will always be in good shape because you can just download the game again and your save is in a safe spot. So what happened was my save only went backwards about a week, and my 5.9 saves, the closed beta 5.9 that I was using for a bunch of the PvP videos, only went back about a month. Originally, I thought I was going to go back until like Thanksgiving, but I found one that was more recent. So just do yourself a favor, back up your save file fairly frequently just in case, and then back it up to a different location, maybe once a month or so. If you ever feel like backing up the entirety of your game, that doesn't hurt if you have room for it somewhere else. So that's about it, folks. That is what we've got going today for patch 6.18. So down in the description will be this version of the game that I'm running right here, which is 6.18 with both patches applied to it. I will put it up on Google Drive. The link will be in the description, as I said, and also a link to the Facebook group, a link to Discord. And remember, we are now moving all bug reports to Discord. They will not be on Facebook anymore. You will get warnings if you try to bug report on Facebook, and too many warnings will be a problem. Also here on Facebook, make sure you're searching for things. We constantly get people searching for a link to download the game. We have a lot of people searching for links on guides and everything. They're all out there, and honestly, like, look at the stickies. Here's Goofy posting the patch today. Here is a Discord link where we have the announcement about bugs not being reported. This is Rainbow Panda uploading the actual game when it was released that Friday. A link to the patch and tips video from a couple days ago too. Just make sure you look at the stickies. You can ignore the 5.2. You don't need it anymore. And yes, the team has stated they absolutely hope that the save that you're using now in beta 6 will go forward into future betas. They have said, do not take us at 100% word on that. They're going to try to keep it that way, but they have a lot of code in this save now that wasn't in the 5.0 saves, so they have already adapted the save as much as possible, so it should be good. But don't avoid beta 6 because you're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna have to reset again if beta 7 comes out or the final version comes out. I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you are not playing this version of the game, because it is very complete for season 1. So thanks for the video, everybody. On Friday, it still looks good for me to be streaming from 3 to 5 Eastern time, and there's going to be a little bit of an interesting surprise video on the channel over the next few days. Oh, and by the way, Marvel Heroes Omega, I do believe, is now up to version 0.6. The last one was 0.5. I think this week we hit 0.6. So I'm going to go check that out and might do a video on that too. Thanks, everybody, and have a good one.